Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I've written up this little prenatal yoga class sesh for some of you all. If you're interested, it's just a really great way to get some exercise while you're pregnant, get some stretches in, get some energy if you'd like that or if you need that. As you may or may not know, I just had a baby a couple months ago, 2 months ago, and so I used a lot of these stretches throughout my pregnancy, just to like keep my legs feeling good, my body feeling good. It helped me sleep a little better at night. I took a prenatal yoga series so that I could really like sculpt this to meet, your needs, and take whatever I learned from that. Um, I just so you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist or personal trainer. So make sure you consult your doctor before you start any sort of workout regimen if you are pregnant. It's important that they know, what you're doing and they can give you guidelines and help you out with that. I'm just a yoga teacher that can get you in and out of poses and hopefully maximize those. There are a couple of poses in yoga that you will want to seek alternatives for, which I provide for you in these classes. One, laying on your belly. You'll find a couple of poses in a typical yoga class where you're on your belly. I will again offer you an alternative, which I demonstrate in the beginning. In your first and maybe second trimester, you totally can. You'll just become uncomfortable, so you really won't want to be on your belly anyway. Um, Next is twist. I don't do any twists in this class. If you do encounter a twist in any of your other classes, usually your hands are in prayer and you're like kind of closing it off. What I would suggest and what I did in my personal practice was I just opened my arms. It helped that I could still find a twist in my spine, which is so good for you. So that's just an alternative for that. Next is laying on your back. So in Shavasana, for example, that is when you will typically be laying on your back. Again, here I do offer an alternative for this. Laying on your left side is most recommended while you are pregnant. Um, there is the vena cava that it leads like an artery that leads to your baby. Again, I'm not a doctor, I don't really know, but I just read a lot about it. It's really important that you don't lay on your back or on your right side because it'll kind of cut it off or like block that. And then finally, abdominal work. You just want to be cautious with how you're doing abdominal work. Working your abs and keeping them strong is still important throughout pregnancy. You are getting ready to push a baby out, so that is your abs that are going to be helping with that or assisting with that. So I will offer some trunk work, some abdominal work that you can skip if you'd like to. If not, join along with me and get that strong. But hopefully, this is good. Hopefully, you like it. And let me know if you have any questions or requests or concerns, anything that you have. And let's get started. All right, guys, I am here to give you a prenatal yoga class. We're in my lovely living room, so excuse the mess. I'm here as a new mom, and I have multiple dogs and just crazy life. So I guess it could be worse. Definitely could be worse. But here we are. There might be dogs running around in the video, but that's how it is here. So we're going to start on our mats. If you have 2 blocks, then that's great. If you don't, I would say maybe try like Tupperware, or if you want to grab like a can of tomatoes or something, that might work really well. We just need something to rest our hands on. We're not going to use them for anything crazy that might break either of whatever you got. So, yeah, you can use tomatoes, whatever you have, just as a little extra support. And I think that's it. We can go ahead and get started. If you have a mat, if you don't, you can just do this on the floor. I'm going to give you a couple of options throughout the class, as I stated before, just to make sure that you are really, being there for your body and understanding what's happening and doing what you need to do. So we'll go ahead and get started in a cross-legged position at the top of our mats. Just starting to get this practice going, just coming to your mat, being here with yourself. Start to, just bring yourself in. So go ahead and sit cross-legged. Start to bring your awareness to whatever's grounding you to the floor. So your ankles are touching the floor, your sits bones, which is your butt bones are touching the floor. Kind of, you'll feel them if you rock back and forth. So just feel them connecting with the ground. Just starts to really help bring in your awareness to right now and what you're doing right now and yourself. So we feel our ankles, maybe the sides of our feet on the ground, our sits bones are on the ground, and bringing our awareness up through our body. So our hands can be on our knees, either palms face down. If you want a little more grounded energy, you can do your palms face up for a little more, just energy in general. I prefer my palms face down right now. Your back is very straight. So, you might think that your back is straight. I'm sure my back isn't as straight as I think it is right now. So we'll just go through our back, make it a little more straight. So starting at the bottom and then just bringing your awareness up vertebrae by vertebrae all the way to the top of your head, and then imagining there's a string pulling your head up towards the ceiling. Just to make yourself a little straighter. You might have to lean back a little bit more than you think. You might be like leaning forward, not on purpose, it's just how you sit. And then just going back to our torso, we actually, even though this is more of a relaxing pose, we want our belly to be a little more engaged. So, if you're here for a prenatal class, you might feel a little more space taken up in here, but you still want to really feel like your belly button is pulling back towards the spine. Okay, belly button is pulling back towards our spine, so we're engaged. And then we'll take our shoulders, roll them up to our ears, roll them towards the back of the room, and then just drop them. Eyes can close at this point in time. Maybe a slight tuck of your chin. This just really helps cultivate the energy throughout your body. And here we can start to entertain, if you'd like to, an intention for your practice today. So whether you're hoping to gain some balance, some strength, just to be here for time to yourself, maybe stretch out your muscles, so relaxation. Or if you really just want to take this time to connect with your baby, that is a great intention for practice. And as you choose your intention, find a word that relates to that. So if you are starting to lose your focus, you can come back to that word. So let's say your intention is strength. Strength is your word. You want to feel stronger after practice. I can almost guarantee you your attention is going to go somewhere else throughout practice, and you can just come back to that one word, strength. So choose your word, and then we'll start to focus on our breath around this word, around this intention. And starting to cultivate a more intentional breath, we're going to start with some boxed breathing. So inhale to the count of what I give you. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. One more. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. And as we wrap up our box breathing, just start to feel your breath go back to its regular pace. Don't try to control anything. But pay attention to the energy that you start to cultivate in your torso area, your chest area. And if you have any thoughts that start to come through, creep in, that's totally okay. It's normal. Even the deepest meditator has their thoughts creep into their practice. So what you'll do is you let it come in, acknowledge that thought, to let it go. If your thought comes in and you acknowledge it and it doesn't go, then you can come back to your word. And we'll start to deepen our inhales. So inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. You can leave your eyes closed or you can open them for this initial stretch. So we're going to take our arms all the way out and then above our head on the inhale. And we'll drop our left arm on the exhale. Our right hand comes down to our left ear. Inhale. And as you exhale, you'll just pull your right ear down to meet your right shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch in the side of your neck. And as you inhale, you'll want to sit a little taller. And as you exhale, just pull a little deeper. If you want to feel more stretch in the back of your neck, just tuck your chin a little bit. And on the next inhale, we'll bring our left arm back up to meet our right. Exhale, drop your right hand. Left hand meets your left ear. Inhale, and then exhale, pulls your left ear down towards your left shoulder. Inhale, sit up straighter. Exhale, pull deeper. Feels so good on the sides of your neck. Again, if you need a little more stretch in the back of your neck, just tuck your chin. Exhale. Now on your next inhale, your right arm comes to meet your left. Take a little stretch up here. Just feels kind of nice to, stretch out the sides a little bit more. And then we're going to take our hands, plant our palms, or I guess our fingers so far, in front of us. If you want to swing your knees out so that we land in our tabletop. So your hands will want to be right below your shoulders, your knees right below your hips. So you want a really straight line right here from the bottom all the way up to the shoulder. Feeling the base of your palms connecting to the ground. And then if you want to go through each one of your fingertips, just to make sure that you feel a really good connection with your mat or with the ground. Strong base. And then if you bring your attention to your shoulders, you don't want to sag your shoulders at all. So press into the ground so that you have a really strong back here. And then we want to focus also on our torso here. So it also, again, it seems like a more relaxed position, but it's actually, you want to have your belly button pulling back towards your spine again so that you have a little bit more intensity, a little more core work. It's not something that we typically will focus on in here. So if you keep this area stronger. It will really just help you throughout like your entire pregnancy. It'll help you a lot. Just having this awareness when, after your pregnancy so that you can keep the awareness in that area. You don't forget about it. It's an area that, you want to keep strong and you don't want to take your awareness off of. So keeping your belly button pulled back towards your spine so your abs are engaged. And then again, your knees are right below your hips. If you want to put a little tuck onto your butt bone and your hips just to straighten out your back a little bit more. Again, we don't want this like relaxed, like kind of U shape here. We want a real straight back. And then your toes and the tops of your feet are pressing down into the mat. If you want to tuck them, that's fine. We'll visit that in a second. But for now, you'll just want to keep the tops of your feet pressed into the ground. So we have a really solid foundation, a solid base. And on our inhale, we're going to drop our belly to the ground for a cow pose. So looking up in front of you towards the corner of the room, I'd say, where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. Your belly is stretched out towards the ground. You still have those abs engaged if you can, as much as you can. And this is a great stretch in the front of your neck. It opens your chest. Take a couple breaths here. And then on your next exhale, we'll have the beloved cat pose. So your back will arch up towards the ceiling. Drop your neck to your chest. Take a couple breaths here. If you want to seesaw back and forth, this feels really good. And we're going to start to move with our breath. So remember, our inhales, our belly was dropped to the ground, and then our exhale, our back was pulled up towards the ceiling. So let's go ahead and inhale, drop your belly down. Exhale, pull your belly and back up. Inhale, drops your belly. Exhale, pulls it back up. And go ahead and do this on your own breath for a couple of seconds, a couple of breaths. I don't know how incredibly valid this is, but in my prenatal yoga class, we learned that this cat-cow position really helps keep your baby in the position that you want it to be in, which is head down, butt is up towards your ribs, and their back is along the front of your body, I believe. It's the most comfortable position for them, but this really helps to encourage that for them. So, I would do these a lot every night. It also just feels really good. Let's meet back in our tabletop position. So we have our flat back, our solid hands, our solid knees, belly button, pull it back up towards the spine so you engage your abs. If you need to relax it a little bit, that's okay. Make sure that you're doing what your body wants you to do. We're going to send our right foot back out towards the back of our mat. Our toes are tucked. Here, we want to revisit our hands just to make sure we're even on both ends. And then we're going to engage our quad. So it's the front of your leg. Just make it nice and engaged here so your leg is all straight. And start to seesaw back and forth. I just hit the couch. Seesaw back and forth. It gives your calf a little bit of a stretch, your toes a little bit of a stretch. It just feels really good. I'm going to scoot up so I don't hit the couch again. Yeah. And I want to do a little bit of a spinal balance for us. The spine is really important in just keeping our whole body solid and strong. You want to make sure your spine is strong. You want to have a good solid foundation and base on your body just in general, especially when you have extra weight that you're supporting in your torso area and just in your body so that you can keep that balance. So let's meet back in the center, keeping our leg out. We're going to lift our toes off the ground. So you'll want to do a nice little scan of your body to make sure you're straight. So you're straight on both of your hands. You're not leaning back on this one left side, which will be very easy to do. The best way to make sure you're straight is to scan your hips to make sure they're both square to the ground. And then You can engage in your glutes, your butt, and then you'll want to observe your foot and make sure it's pressing straight back towards the back of the room. So your toes are faced to the ground, your heels face to the ceiling, your foot is pressing on the back of the room. And just hold this for a couple of seconds. Just for a little bit of extra strength here, we're going to pulse. So either you can hold this for 5 breaths, or you can pulse with me for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then drop your knee. Go ahead and do a couple cat-cows just to even that out, make that feel good. I did a butt workout yesterday, so my glutes are sore. Feels really good. So let's come back to our center, and we're going to repeat on the other side. So let's straighten out our left leg. Toes are tucked. Come back to your hips. Make sure they're square to the ground, and your quad right here is nice and engaged and tight. And just seesaw back and forth. Man, I feel that in my left calf. It feels so good. Oh, yes. I can like almost feel it in my hamstring. That's how tight my legs always are. All right, we'll come back into our center and we will lift this foot off the ground. Let's see what our hips are doing, making sure they're nice and square. Pull your left hip a little bit forward towards the ground if you feel like you're not square. And your left foot pressing back against the back wall. So your toes are pointed down towards the ground and your heel is pointed towards the ceiling. And take a couple solid breaths here. Feel how solid your body is right now. It's growing a human, and you can still, keep your bones strong, your muscles strong. It's really amazing. All right, now for 5 breaths, you can either hold right here, or you can pulse with me 10 times, and we will go at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Very good. So we'll do another little cat-cow, and then we'll get started with a couple more really good stretches that you will love. All right, now as we meet into our center tabletop, I want you guys to tuck your toes, and then we're going to start lifting our hips up towards the ceiling and back. So a couple of good options here in our downward facing dog is to make sure your knees are as bent as they need to be. So you do not have to have straight legs. In fact, you want to make sure that your body is really straight from your head all the way up to your hips. So my hair is getting in the way of my headphones here. That's okay. So you'll want to make sure that your chin is almost tucked so that you have this really straight line here. And then keep your knees a little more bent just to make sure that the line once you get to your bum is a little more straight. You'll also want to keep your feet a little further apart just because of the amount of space that you'll need right here. It'll just be a little more comfortable. So if you do yoga often in a typical yoga class, you might keep your toes a little closer to each other, hips a distance apart. Put them out as far as you need, just so it feels really good. So our hands are pressed into the ground. Our chest is pressed back towards our knees. And then we'll come back to our belly button, pull it back towards your spine again. So just engage that spot. This feels really good for your baby. Again, it really gets it into that position that you want it to be. So it'll encourage it to flip the correct way. So its head is face down and its back is face towards your belly. So this is another position that I would encourage you to do often as you can. And here I can see all the dog hair that's underneath my couch that I'm going to vacuum after this. All right, we'll take one more breath. And then inhale and look forward, and we're going to walk forward on your exhale. So just tiptoe forward. Let it feel good. Watch your balance. Don't want you to fall over. And our hands are met with our toes. So just kind of take some movement here. This might feel really good. If you want to grab your blocks, it might feel really good. Just to give yourself a little more space. This halfway fold, it just feels so good on you. All right. We're going to take a halfway lift right now. So our head is face point straight out towards the front of the room. Body's about perpendicular to the ground, right? So your torso is face parallel to the ground. Hands can be on your shins. They can be on the block, mat, whatever. And then we're going to fold again into yourself. And then we're going to creep spine, vertebrae, vertebrae, all the way up until you are in a high mountain pose. So you're standing straight. Your feet just kind of like feel all four or three corners on the ground. Some people like to call it three corners. Some people like to call it four corners on the ground. Ideally, you want your quads to be engaged again. Your tailbone is tucked and you're standing really straight, hands face forward. This is a really strong position for you to be in. You're strong. It's called mountain. I mean, what gets stronger than that? Mountain. Right, Krieger? On our next inhale, we're going to reach our hands high above our head. On our exhale, we're going to pull our elbows back towards the back of the room. It's like a goalpost, or a cactus. So we're going to cactus our arms, squeezing our shoulder blades together, making sure we're revisiting our butt just so that it's tucked under. We don't want to stand out like that. We want to make sure we have a really strong back, really strong core. Inhale, reach back up. And then exhale, you're going to fold forward, hands touching the ground or your blocks. Inhale, you're going to lift back up halfway. Exhale, your hands are going to drop to the mat, and then you're going to put your left foot out, and then our right foot out. So we're in a high plank. We'll drop our left knee to the ground. We drop our right knee to the ground. And then we're going to do a cow, cat. So inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, straighten into a tabletop. And then tuck your toes. Exhale, push back into downward facing dog. So you may be familiar with the vinyasa class. Usually you'll do a sun salutation. And that will be our version of a sun salutation. So, without wanting to put our bellies to the ground like in a cobra or an up dog, which if you feel comfortable doing that, then do it. There's nothing wrong with it. But if your belly's just a little too popped out or it's not comfortable, this is our version of it. So we're going to look forward on our inhale. Exhale, we'll bend your knees and just tiptoe your feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up into our high mountain. Exhale, cactus your arms. Feels so good on your chest and on your back. Yeah. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. If I'm going too fast for you, you can slow down and go at your own pace. It's totally fine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Send your left foot out, your right foot out, left knee down, right knee down. Or you can go straight into tabletop. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, straighten your back. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. So good. It feels so good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and move forward as slow as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, cactus your hands. My headphone keeps falling out. This is my solution for sound because I'm not tech genius. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall into yourself. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. We can go straight into tabletop from here. Tabletop. Inhale, cow back. Exhale, cat back. Inhale, straight back. And exhale, tuck your toes and send all the way back. Take a couple breaths here. we'll get into a nice little hamstring stretch, and then I can get you into some hips, and you should feel really good after this. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, you're actually going to lift your right leg back towards the back of the room. If you can do it as low as you can do it, higher, I'm pretty medium here. And then we're going to bring our knee forward and our foot to land in between our hands. So this is also where these come in handy, your little blocks. It'll help just bring your belly off of your knee because I'm sure you'll have trouble fitting there at some point. We're going to dial our back foot down so that it's at a 45-degree angle to the front of your mat. And then using the strength of your right quad, your right leg, lift all the way up into your warrior one. Now scan your body, make sure you're flat on all four corners of your foot. Your knee is going straight out over towards your right foot. And then your hips are actually face forward here. So we're not face to the side, we're just face forward. You can bend this left knee if you need to, it might feel a little better for you. And then our arms are strong above us. Try to bend a little bit deeper into that front knee. And just take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, and then on our exhale, we're going to reach our arms straight out to the side of us, moving your hips towards the side of the room rather than the front. If you want to widen your stance a little bit, it might just give you a little more stretch here, and maybe a little more strength building in your front leg here. So our arms are straight out next to us, hips are facing front. Make sure your knee is still facing above your foot rather than like kind of falling in. So you might just have to place your hand here, push it out towards the side, should be fine. And then just take a look over the front of your arm. Make sure it's not dragging down, it's dragging straight up. Your shoulders are still relaxed. This is our warrior two. Strong warrior moms, that's what you are. Listen to me. All right, take another inhale here. On your exhale, you'll reach your arm forward, flip your palm, and we're gonna reverse our warrior. So this is a nice side stretch for you. Also a really good balancing tool. So your balance might not be the best right now. Be careful, but this is a great way to practice. It's always good to practice your balance. So right here, make sure your stance is your base. It's your strong part. So go back to that if you need to. Then let's come visit our arm up here. We're reaching up to the sky rather than straight back. So we'll go up to the sky. Once we reach as far as we can, then you can pull back. But really, we just want to reach up as much as we can. Your gaze can be up towards your hand, it can be down towards your back foot, it can be towards your front foot, wherever you want it to be. I like looking up towards the sky, it just helps me reach a little further. Also, your left arm can be rested on your back leg. A lot of people like to fold it behind the back of their body, but I like to rest on my leg. It's just a little more comfortable for me. All right. We're going to exhale back into our warrior two. Our arms are straight up. Inhale, straighten your front leg. We'll go into a little triangle. This will feel really good. So your legs are just straight. We'll leave them right here. We're going to inhale. Exhale, lean forward. Inhale. And then exhale, bring your hand down to your right shin. So it can be either, there's plenty of options here. You really do whatever feels most comfortable for you right here, wherever you stay standing as solid as you can. So let's start with our options. We can rest it on our right shin. You can take your block, rest it on your block right here. This is my personal favorite because I feel like I can reach as far up as I can towards the ceiling. You can rest that block on the outside of your foot. The options are endless in triangle. So we're going to take a couple of breaths here. Arm reaching straight up towards the ceiling. Another option is to bring your arm towards your back and just rest it on the nape of your back. Is that the right term for your back? The nape? You have the nape of your neck. Is that the same thing? Somebody tell me. If your arm is on your back, let's bring it straight back up. And we're going to drop your left arm down. So here's where your blocks will really come in handy. You're faced over your foot. Your hands are down on your back, blocks. And we're going to just kind of bring our left foot up halfway closer to our right foot. Your toes are all faced forward. This is my all-time favorite yoga position in the world because it feels so good. So this is our pyramid pose. This will feel really good in your right hamstring right now. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift halfway like we did in our sun salutations, and then we're just gonna fold into ourselves. So your knee can be bent. This will help create more of a stretch in the back of your leg. This knee can be bent as well, your left knee, or you can straighten it out. And then as you fold in, just make sure that you tuck your chin so you get as much stretch in your back as you can. If you don't want to get out blocks or cans every single night, a really good place to do this is at the bottom of your stairs. So you'll just stand right below that last step, and then you'll just put your hands on the stair. Feels so good, guys, seriously. You need a little bit more stretch. Just make sure you pull your left hip forward towards the front of the room so they're nice and square. Last breath, inhale, lengthen, exhale, deepen. And then we're gonna bring our left leg up to meet our right foot. We'll take a halfway lift and then fold into ourselves. Straighten out your left foot, send your right foot back, go down into your tabletop, and then go through your mini flow. We'll meet in our downward facing dog. And once you're here, you're gonna inhale, exhale your left foot up towards the back of the room. I'm sure my baby belly is hanging out right now. Hello. And we're gonna send our left foot forward so it lands right between our hands. Again, just fix the clothes. Use your blocks here if you want to, just to kind of get your belly up off of your left leg here. And we'll make sure that all four corners in our left foot are really solid. Your right foot is nice and solid too. This is going to be your base for your warrior one on this side. So we want to start with the base. Make sure we're strong here, especially as we have maybe a little less balance in our bodies right now. We'll dial down our right foot so that it's about 45 degrees from the front of our mat. And then here we're going to lift up off of your left foot. Straight into your warrior one. So our hips are faced straight towards the front of the room. Our knee on our left side is pointed straight out over top of our left foot. And then our hands are reaching up towards the ceiling. Real strong belly button. Remember, pulling back towards our spine so that we have a nice strong core here. Couple more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. You bend a little deeper in your left knee. Last inhale. Exhale, open up into your warrior two. So our arms are straight out towards the back of the room and the front of the room. Your knee is still facing over the front of your left foot, and your hips are just facing the back of the room now, okay? Also, you want to make sure that your hips are nice and straight here. So a lot of times people will want to kind of like hip out, whatever you want to call it here. Just make sure they're nice and straight. So your spine is nice and straight here too. Couple breaths here in this warrior two. Feel strong. Your quad muscle back here is engaged as well. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, your left hand moves towards the front of the room. Inhale, flip your palm. And then exhale, straight up into your reverse warrior. Again, feeling your base, making sure you're nice and strong. We don't want anybody to tip over here. If you feel like you're going to tip over, it's okay. Just kind of come out of it. Revisit down here. If you want to stay in your warrior two, that's great. But then come back up into your reverse. Feel this nice side stretch here. right, we'll inhale, exhale back into our warrior two, straighten your left leg. Inhale, and then on your exhale, you reach forward and then down into your triangle pose on the left side. Gaze can be up or gaze can be down. Sometimes, one day it'll feel really good one way and it'll feel really good a different way the next day. And this side might be 100% different from your other side. And then inhale, and as you exhale, you'll drop both of your hands down onto your block. Bring your right foot in to meet your left. My mat is getting crooked here, so that's fine. And then we'll come into the beloved pyramid pose. So all 10 toes face forward. We're going to halfway lift. No. We're folded into our pyramid pose. Tucking your chin for a little extra. Feels so good. Now we'll take our right foot to meet our left. And we're going to come all the way up into our mountain pose. Even though our balance isn't, quite as great as it typically is, we'll still want to make sure we spend a little bit of time practicing here. All right, we're going to just start at the top of our mats. We'll do a balancing series another day, but today it's not going to work. It's a lot with a baby and 2 dogs to get everything figured out here. So let's reach all the way up high here. And then we're going to fold halfway on the exhale. Inhale, we'll lift halfway. Exhale, we'll plant our palms. Send our left leg back. Send right leg back. Come down to our knees. Now we're going to swing our legs out in front of us and sit down on our butts here. So we're going to come into a little butterfly pose. This will feel really good on your hips and then hopefully maybe even your back a little bit, but mostly good in the groin area, the hip area. So your feet are going to be touching each other from the bottoms of your feet, and they can be as close or in or as far out as you need them to be. I like them to be like a fair amount of distance out. You might just get a little more stretch in the outsides of your legs if you're further out, and then you'll get more of a stretch in your groin if you're further in. So whatever you feel like you need right now, play around with it too. So feeling your sits bones on the ground again, feet pressed up against each other. Your hands can either be on your knees, they can be on your shins, or you can put them on the ground right in front of you, whatever's most comfortable. But we're going to sit real straight up towards the ceiling. Start to fold forward. If you want to walk your hands forward in front of you. And then once you've reached your edge, the furthest that your body will let you go, you'll just fold, tuck your neck down, round out your back. And we'll just relax in here. As you inhale, you'll stretch a little forward. As you exhale, breathe in deeper into yourself. So just remember, as you inhale, shift a little forward. Exhale, breathe in deeper to yourself. Take about 8 breaths here. Feeling this real good in your groin. If you take your elbows and you want to connect them with your knees, maybe push your knees down, that might help you. And slowly push yourself back up to seated. We'll send our right leg out towards the front of our mat, and then our left foot will touch the inside of our thigh. This will be another nice, really good hamstring stretch for you. So Feeling the connection between your butt and the ground. You lift your arms straight up to the sky and then just fold as deeply as you can. If it's just right up here, you'll still feel a good stretch. If you want to go a little further, your belly might be in the way, but that's okay. Go as deeply as you need to go or as shallow as you need to go. And again, on your inhales, you'll want to lengthen, and on your exhales, you'll fold a little bit deeper. Take a couple of breaths here. See how far you can go without, hurting too much. So if it's starting to hurt, back out, but feel that stretch. A really good stretch in your hamstring. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, push yourself back up. And we'll switch out. So you'll straighten your left leg out towards the front of your mat. Your right leg, foot rather, will meet the inside of your left thigh. And your body will then face straight out over your left leg, reaching your arms up into the air. Straighten, and then as you exhale, you'll fold into your leg. And this side might be completely different from your other side. So, you might be able to go a little bit deeper here. You might not be able to go quite as deep. This is a little tighter for me in my hand. So, go wherever it feels really good for you on this side. Hamstrings usually feel super tight, right before bed. You're trying to get into sleep, at least for me, and then my hands will get real tight and real crazy, and it'll start to feel tight behind my knee, and it's just one of those things. So this stretch really feels good, right before bed, or if you're just sitting in bed and you're trying to get ready for your sleep, it's just such a great release here. Take one more inhale, and then exhale and push yourself up into a straight position. And then coming to your cross-legged seating here, take your left leg, and you'll want it to be flat towards the ground, so it's bended, it's bent. Your leg is straight in front of you. So my shin is parallel to the wall in front of me. And then I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to fold it on top of my left leg. So I'll face you so you can see. So my left leg is straight, parallel toward the room or the wall in front of me. And then I'm going to take my right leg and fold it right on top. So my foot doesn't go into my knee. You want to be really cautious of your knee because it's not designed to take a lot of pressure from the sides. So my foot is actually landing right in front of my knee, straight on top. So my legs are real straight. They're not, I don't know. I don't really see an X here. So my legs are straight here. I feel it really good in my right hip. So this is going to be like a pigeon pose to help your tight hips loosen up a little bit. So make sure you're feeling that in your hip. You might feel a little on the outside of your leg, but it'll mostly be in your hips. So we'll take our arms, lift them straight above our head. Take one big inhale, and then as you exhale, you'll fold forward into yourself. Maybe your elbows are on the ground. That's what's comfortable for me. They could be straight out in front of you. Same as with your butterfly pose. You're going to fold as far into yourself as you can, and then you'll round out your back. I don't know if you can hear my baby's lullabies in the background, but get ready. You'll hear them soon too. I like to roll around my neck a little bit here. This is another great pose before bed. Great stretch for you. As you inhale, just make sure you're straightening your back, and then as you exhale, go a little bit deeper. inhale, and then as you exhale, we'll push ourselves back up. And let's switch it out. So our left leg will be on the ground, shin parallel to the front of the room. Right, if I said left, I meant right. And then you'll take your left leg and stack it on top of your right, so it's also parallel. Just a reminder, your foot, you don't want it on top of your knee, maybe right in front of your knee, just to make sure that you don't cause any injury here. Take an inhale, reach high above towards the sky. Exhale, fold into yourself, lengthen before you roll. If you've had to go back towards your intention throughout this practice, I hope that it worked for you. I hope that your word worked for you. I think this class is a perfect example of distractions that might come along. You know, some maybe you can't ignore, some you just have to deal with, but you just take each moment as good as you can, be as present as you can, and forgive yourself if, you know, you can't. It's okay. You have this breath, you can make the most of it. Again, forgive yourself if you have to go off of your mat, or if you have, you know, if you have to face that distraction. Sometimes you do. Take another inhale, and then let's push ourselves back up to the top. Now, I'm not going to do a Shavasana. I highly encourage you to do Savasana for any other, you know, if you do a practice by yourself, or if you are finished with this class and you want to do another one. It's really important to me to be able to take that time to relax after this, you know, practice, whether it was tough or if it was, you know, a lot of focus for you. It's just hard for me right now to lay and be laying. But in your Shavasana, what you will want to do is take your block or take a pillow or something, and rather than laying straight on your back, we're going to lay on our left side. So we'll take our block and just lay down on the left side. We'll rest our knee on our block, and then we'll rest our head on our biceps. So this will be a great position for Shavasana. It'll feel really good for you. It'll be really relaxing. It's just a good natural position for you to be in when you are pregnant. And it's just relaxing for you. So, you know, when you're done, take the time, put yourself in a Shavasana for about 5 minutes or as long as you want to. Try not to fall asleep, but if you do, it's okay. And yeah, hopefully, you know, maybe I can make another video for you if you have any requests or anything. Hopefully it won't take me quite as long. It's really hard with all this other stuff going on, but thank you so much for joining today, and I hope that you take a lot of this as you go, and this helps you feel really good in the future. So let's bring our hands to heart center and take one breath together. Exhale and namaste.